Hey guys, I bought myself a 2018 Ford Transit. I am going to install an alarm, a basic alarm, but I'm not here to talk about how to install an alarm because there's lots of good information out there already on YouTube. What I'm going to tell you is the wiring, where everything is. I had a heck of a time finding where all the wires go. Like, there was no real, there was something on 12volt.com or something that had a basic wiring down, but there was some of it was wrong. Maybe it was for England or not, I don't know. But I'm going to be installing this Viper, a basic alarm. Has a starter kill, but no starter, like automatic start. I just need door pins, starter kill. Don't really need shock, but it has shock. Yeah, just a basic alarm that open the doors and close the doors, and door pins activate the alarm, that kind of stuff. First off is to take off all this plastic. There's some screws, there's some snaps to take off. This piece is underneath the steering column. You'll have to access the steering column. And this is where underneath the steering column, all this paneling, all this stuff. Okay, here's the brain of the Viper. Like I said, I'm only hooking up power, just grounded to this pin here, or this bolt here. Power. I just grab power off of this constant power. Yellow is for ignition power for programming, and all I did was go up here to the ignition wire here. This gets activated when you turn the key to ignition, and so this brown yellow, and then here's the cables for the starter kill. This loom here that goes into the same socket that the ignition is a blue white, so you just cut it in half and connect each side of it to your alarm. And then what else is up here in the ignition column? That's about it for ignition column. The rest is in this body control module, BCM. This is what I had a hard time finding. The parking lights. There are two. This purple green one in this socket here. This brown orangey socket on the body control module is for the left parking lights. And this one here, this one way up here, if you can see it, brown yellow, is for the right parking lights. So what I did was put some diodes in. The little silver piece diode faces the socket away from the alarm. So those two, so this is like a little check valve, this diode. Energy just flows this way. So the positive 12 volt plus energy that will light up the parking lights goes this way only. It won't feed back the other way. So both of those will be connected together like this and onto my white parking light output. So that was the hardest thing to find. This thing here is for parking lights, for the left one. That one up there was already, well, it was hard to find too. But a lot of probing with a power meter or a multimeter you can use. This thing will tell you, so this power meter or probe will tell you things like if you got power or negative, and other things. Like here, see, is beeping negative, green for negative, and that sound, it'll tell you. It tells you up here it tells you your voltage on your battery, and then if you touch power, like that, my constant power tells you your power. You got power, and it flashes red. So and it's got a nice little sharp end here that you could poke into wires to probe it. So really cool tool to get to help you out, or you can use one of those the cheaper ones, the lights. You don't need a fancy one like this one. So in this jumbo mess of wires on this BCM here, there's a blue gray that's for door locking. So for door locking, there's a gray yellow, for lock output, and a violet gray for unlock. And that is on the top brown socket that goes into BCM up here. Okay, and also there's these things here. There's wires in there that are for the door lock pins to tell you if the door's open or closed. And I'll tell you the colors for that. It's weird. The passenger and the driver's door and the rear door are positive triggers. So this van uses positive triggers, and the sliding door is a negative trigger. So you have to use both on this alarm, the green and purple wires. So the green is a negative trigger, and this purple one's for positive, which will get connected to all three of these. So I had to hook up diodes to isolate them because I have separate triggers. And that little silver band faces towards the alarm, away from the socket. On a positive trigger, that's how you wire it. On a negative trigger, you would wire the silver band towards the socket and away from the alarm. So if you see my scribble here, the left door trigger is green violet, the right door is white, and as you can see, they're positive trigger. When you open the door, it goes positive. When the door is closed, it is negative. And then the sliding door is yellow, which when the door is closed, it is positive, and when you open the door, it's negative. So it's weird that they're, I guess, I don't know, this is my first alarm, but I think they're usually always the same. And then the rear door is a brown violet color, and they all live in the BCM on the top socket, the brown socket up here. They all live in there. Okay, so you attach wires to it, and then you attach the diodes, and then you attach the alarm, purple one, that is for positive trigger for this one. The green one is a negative trigger for the sliding door. Get yourself some diodes. I got part number 1N4001, 1 amp diodes. Dirt cheap, 100, I think costs like $8. And get some heat shrink to cover up all your wiring. And obviously electrical tape, because some of the solder joints you can't put heat shrink on. So you'll have to use electrical tape. Here it is all wired up. The violet gray for unlock is on the left side of the left side, and lock one is on the right side of the socket. And all these door triggers are on the right side of the socket. This is all wired up now. Everything functions, tested. As you can see, the diodes here are combined to one. These three diodes here are combined to one. And now I just gotta tidy it up. Put the brain over here. And Bob's your uncle. I put the LED up here. What else? There is a rubber grommet there for all the other wiring down there. I don't know if you can see it down there. I put the alarm, the siren wire through there. I'll show you the outside. And there is the siren mounted onto a ground boat that was there already, and I mounted the ground onto that boat also, and it goes through that grommet that's already a wiring harness is going through. Just poked a hole through it and shoved it in. Okay, it's all done. I am not an alarm installer, so I did the best I can. This is my first alarm. As you can see, everything's wired up. I put the antenna up at the steering column up top. And there she is. So let's try it out. Here's the key. Watch door lock. LED flashing, the horn blinked. Parking lights work. There she is, all done. I hope this helps you. It's more about the wiring than anything. I could not find a lot of information online. I searched bits and pieces everywhere, but got her done. I'll have all the wiring on the description.